Hey guys, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about how much I spent in the 7-day travel to London. As I said, I will talk about. London is such an expensive place, but I think I've done pretty well, and I think this will be helpful to people who wants to go on a trip to London, or like I'm planning to trip to London. So let's start with the flight itself. The flight itself costed 912,000 won, $650. And as London is pretty far from Seoul, I think this is a pretty decent price. And I rode with China Southern Airline, and I did stopover, like the transit. Mm, On the way to London, I stopped at Beijing, and on the way back, I stopped at Zhengzhou. It was actually my first time riding with Chinese airline, and it was my first time going to China, even though even though it was just a transit. I stayed like 3 hours, 4 hours there. The overall experience with Chinese airline was pretty okay. I mean, YouTube kind of worked on the airport, although the Wi-Fi was really slow. And the airport was really big and clean, although there wasn't that much people there. And on the way to China and China from Seoul, they provided a meal, and um, China to London and London to China, they provided two meals. So for one trip, on the way they provided three meals, and the way back they provided three meals, and it was okay. Like I think China and Korea are pretty like similar. It was okay to me. So flight was about that much, and about accommodations, I stayed at like Korean guest house, which is called Minbak, and I stayed in the first guest house for 4 nights, which costed 300,000 won, which is $220. And in the second guest house, which is about 336,000 won, which is $240. As you can see, the second guest house was much more expensive. Even though I spent only 3 nights there, it was more expensive. But the funny thing is that location-wise, the first guest house was better. It was right next to King's Cross Station. Although the second guest house was, I had to walk a lot, like 15 minutes from the Victoria Station. But the first guest house was like a six-bed male bedroom dormitory, while the second guest house was four-bed dormitory. And the first guest house was run by like staffs, and the second guest house there was an owner who manages the place. So it had more like comfy vibes. So I liked it more. And so the flight and the accommodation cost more than like 1,500,000 won, which is about the half of the total um, cost I spent. And so I think I was pretty frugal on this, because the flight and the accommodations are actually pretty cheap, I think. And I did 4 tours. One was the walking tour. The three was about was the Korean tour, and one was about the English tour. The first tour was a walking tour around London, costed 60,000 won, which is about 40 something dollars. And the second tour was the National Gallery and British Museum tour. Although you could go to a British Museum and National Gallery for free, I think it's better to have a tour that you can like get docent like explanation from the pros. And the third tour is really expensive, but this is okay because like the guide brought the car, and they drove us to Stonehenge and also the city of Bath and the town called Cotswold. There's like several towns called Cotswold, but the one we went was something called Castle Coom. Like it was in one of those Steven Spielberg movie, like Horse and Me or something like that. But it was a small town, and I could feel the British vibe, but I don't think like it's like worth going. The Bath city was really nice, yeah, and Stonehenge was nice too. Stonehenge, it's just a bunch of rocks, but the surroundings were all like meadows, like and that's what I've never seen about it. And the guide says it's one of the best places to see the stars, and people can come like camping, and there was like sheep and cows and everything. So it was a nice thing to just see the surroundings, and the weather was really nice. The weather was really nice for all the London travel. And the last tour was the city travel around. Um, what was it? What was the name of it? Excuse me. Shoreditch. Shoreditch was the name I was searching for. Yeah. I spent 18,000 won, which was probably less like you can think about, but there was a lot of people, like 30 people, and it was like tip only, so I paid like £10, something like that. That was like the average amount people paid. So the for the tours, I spent like 280,000 won, $200, which was okay, I think. Like the more tours you do, that's good. And I spent quite a lot on souvenirs, like 250,000 won, and which is like $180. I bought mostly like tea, because tea is something UK is really good at, and I think it's good that I bought souvenirs for friends and family, and because they like support me for going to on trips, and I want to thank them when I come back. So it really feels good to buy souvenirs for them. I actually watched three musicals. First one is Wicked, and second one was Lion King, and third one was Book of Mormon. And these are the prices I paid: 88,000, 75,000, and 55,000 won. I actually like the Book of Mormon best. I really liked Wicked too, because Wicked, um, they, I don't know the name of the actresses, but they were all really, really, really good at singing. Of course, like the songs are like super, super difficult. And Lion King, I was quite impressed about with all the costumes and stuff, but the singing isn't that impressive. Like I'm sure they're like brilliant singers, but the song itself is like not that skillful songs, and it's more like a child musical. So I was not so impressed about Lion King. And Book of Mormon was really good, either by story wise and also the music wise. Music was really good too. Yeah, it was more like a band music. And for food, I spent 510,000 won, which is like 370 bucks. Uh, I tried to be frugal, but I didn't try to save up that much. Like I had like steaks, I had like hamburgers, like Honest Burger, which is like the burger place in London. I didn't go to McDonald's. Did I? I know I didn't go to McDonald's. And uh, yeah, I ate like fish and chips, and I had like English breakfast, just like beans and sausages, bacon, eggs, mushrooms, bread, something like that. And Yeah, so I think like and I also had like a few like sandwiches in supermarkets or like Starbucks when I did not have the time or I just don't feel like I want a fancy meal. But it's not that bad. Like last time I went to Europe, I saved up a lot on food because that was the only place I could really save up on. Like elsewhere, there's no place to save on. But now I'm um like 6 years old. I earn money, so I don't have to like save up money. I even like spend good money even in Seoul while eating. So I did not save that much on food. And like face it, like compared to other costs, this is not that much. And transportation was actually something I didn't expect. I spent a lot, like $180, which is 250,000 won, and like 40% of it is like electric bikes, which is like Lime bikes, and it's really really expensive. Like it costs as much as taxis in Korea. I didn't even ride taxis once in London because I just assumed that it'll be really really expensive, and if I had rode a taxi in London, I think this cost will be like twice as it, and and that's pretty much it. I actually bought this um, clothes, and there's are a lot of a little bit of money I spent, like uh, like admission fees to Stonehenge, or I bought another clothes and scarf. So that'll be like another 40,000 won, maybe like 100, no, 140,000 won, like $100. So everything total, like I would say a little bit above 3 million won, which is like 2,200 or 2350 dollars. And I'm pretty comfortable about this, like because like I've seen like people spend a lot of money in the guest house. I saw like people get cell phones like snatched to a biker, and that would be like so misfortunate. And also, I've seen like someone fly like business class, and itself would cost more than this amount. Like more, I heard like he spent like the flight itself costs more than 5 million won, which is like I don't know, like $3,000, something like that. So even more, like 3,500, 3,500, something like that. So I feel pretty good about this amount, um, and I felt really good things about this trip. Like I really enjoyed this trip, and I feel like I might go on like solo traveling more than before. Like I really enjoyed this trip. So not maybe not London because London is like so far away, and also it's really expensive to go there. And even though I did not like try to be super frugal, I cannot go to this place like without spending a lot of money. Like this itself costed a lot of money, and then this is not something I cannot do like all year. And the reason that this video has become like so late after the trip is because like I was sick. I was really really sick after the trip, and one of the reasons about this was not only because I I really enjoyed the trip, so I spent a lot of like walking around, but the trip itself was really tough. Like the way to London, I woke up like 4 a.m. in the morning, and I rode the plane and went there. And coming back, um, when I arrived, so it was like 10 p.m. And then the next day, I had to go to work. So it was a really tough schedule, but it was fun. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna do another solo travel probably in the future. Even domestic wouldn't be that expensive, and I can always bring my car. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. I don't know what to film for next video, but probably I'll film what I felt in the my London travel. So bye.